Sim race if you want. What were we talking?
Ah, yeah, we could watch Velocity.
No, actually, that's not. He probably wants to race against actual people, not AI.
Yeah.
Uh, so
How
I'm.
long has this been going on for, by the way? Just
We were halfway through a Grand Prix. We're more or less the entire way through a Grand Prix. We are live for about an hour already. No. But to be fair, we're only on driver transfers when we said that this part would take about 30 minutes. um,
to be fair, at the very start, we got distracted with Senna.
Yeah.
but to be fair, now, that was a good conversation. By the way, we're live again, so I'm just finding that out.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
But
We're back.
yeah, we're back anyway. Sorry about that. Game cut out. So literally, the end of situation with Toro Rosso is that they made the best out of a bad hand.
Exactly.
Moving on
Right.
to, you know what? I'm gonna go to Renault next for one reason, and one reason only.
You're a Cardiff fanboy.
No, we need to talk about Lance Stroll in a lot of bloody detail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because we also have to talk about the say for me, the Force India fiasco.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna keep that very brief because we don't know the ins and outs of the actual, like, what exactly happened behind the scenes. Like, we know what the public know, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going back to the we'll go to Renault. Honestly, they've made the second best roster change of the entire grid. I think McLaren still got the best change.
Yeah.
Renault's a very close second. I think they would have been first if it would have been if they would have been able to drop bloody Hulkenberg for Lando Norris. That was something I would love.
That would have been that would have been an impressive lineup.
That would have been an impressive lineup. Ricardo and Lando Norris, or Aiken and Norris, which I think could be a lineup next season.
Obviously, the Ricardo thing was one of the biggest driver transfers because obviously he was at Red Bull for so long and quite successful, but
it came as a bit of a shock.
Like such a downgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did exactly.
Like, I was expecting Bottas to get dropped for Ricardo. That's what my thought was.
Oh really? I think that would have been very good. I mean, you can't really say that, I guess, based on this season, but based on at the time, it would have been reasonable, wouldn't it?
But last season, they went the entire season up to Belgium without a Bottas win. He went the entire season without a win.
Mm.
And now look at him. He's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can't really say he's on fire. I suppose he's on ice because, well, he's a Finnish guy. I don't know.
But he's still second in the championship.
Yeah, but but like 7 points though, it isn't that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
It's still incredibly close, but you know, he's the one who keeps wanting to look at the standings. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he's.
If you're listening, Bottas,
look at him more in comparison of Hamilton himself. No, not him compared to Hamilton, but I think more of him last season to him this season, but with the amount of haters he got, saying that he should have been dropped, he should have been dropped, he should have been dropped. I don't think it's trying to diss Lewis Hamilton on where he is in the championship compared to he.
Yeah, true.
It's telling the haters wrong for all the Merc fans wanting him dropped, me inclusive.
Yeah, me inclusive as well. But the Ricardo thing obviously had so many DNFs last season through engine failure. It wasn't through any fault of his own, pretty much every single one. And even Monaco, he won with low power. It was the engine nearly went then, and he only because it was Monaco and he drove brilliantly that he was able to get that win.
Yeah. Any other track he lost that, 100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But that also surprises me on why he went to Renault, because he had so many engine issues, and he goes to the exact same engine supplier.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he went from Red Bull, what it is now, like Red Bull Honda to Renault. He's gone from Red Bull Renault to Renault.
Well, Red Bull
That's-
Tag Heuer Renault, to be specific.
Yeah. No, but it was the same engine type.
Same engine, just a different name on it. A Tag Heuer branded Renault. But I believe it was a good move for Renault's part, but I don't think it was a good move for Ricardo.
No.
Well, not so far.
Unless it's 2021 tends to be an absolute madness, which is definitely possible at this rate.
Yeah, I think it was a big gamble for him. As you said, to go from the team where you had engine issues to the team with
that makes
same
those
engine.
engines. That makes those
Yeah.
engines.
It was an odd choice.
It's not like he went to McLaren, which is another customer team. He went to the factory team.
Yeah.
Which I think is the kind of reason I understand it, but because he was going to a factory team. I think he was sick of having a customer team, because at least now he probably has a say on how the engine is done.
Yeah.
Like, he'll get a say on how to make the car the way he wants it.
I mean, also you got to remember the
which is why I
compare
believe.
it to.
Which is why I believe also Honda also has a very good is very good this season in the Red Bull car, because they're a factory team for Honda. And sorry to interrupt you there. Continue.
That's right. What I'd also say is you compare that to I compare Ricciardo's move to Hamilton's. In terms of when Hamilton moved from McLaren to Mercedes, Mercedes were a mid-tier team, and it was a massive shock to everyone, because, and I, as a Hamilton fan, I was like, what is he doing? He's made a terrible mistake. He's not going to win races again. He's fucked his career. And the first season in Mercedes, Hamilton won, I think, 1 or 2 races, and that was even incredible because Mercedes did not have the pace, and he got a few podiums as well, and Rosberg got a few podiums, but no wins.
It looked awful.
Yeah, they looked awful. So I was like, "Oh, point proven." That's absolutely. And then there was a regulation change in 2014, or was it just? I think it was. Yeah, it was a big regulation change.
That was a regulation change that kind of it turned more into a power sport than an aero sport. Like, the only reason Red Bull won those championships was because it was solely based off aero. Like, it was more of an aero thing than a.
And I think they changed that to try and stop Red Bull domination, ended up with obviously Mercedes domination.
Yeah, because the Merc engine at the beginning of the turbo hybrid era was incredible, because they designed their engine in an entirely different way.
Exactly, and but yeah, and then obviously that it turned out great for Hamilton, and he obviously, won 2014, 2015,
2017, and 2018 now.
And 2018, and hopefully 2019. But yeah, like that.
I'd say he will win 2019.
I guess Ricciardo can hope that somehow. I mean, the thing is, the regulation changes until 2021, so it's not even like where Hamilton had one season of sort of mediocrity to. But it wasn't even mediocrity by his standards, because he still managed to win a race in a shit car.
Yeah, but it is a very long thing though. But I also think that the field was closer back in 2012.
Yeah, it was. You could. For God's sake, Maldonado won a race.
Yeah, in Spain, and that's really saying something.
Exactly. So yeah, I agree. And unfortunately, I think that's happened. The midfield is the gap between the midfield and the top cars is just it increases every year. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the V6 turbo hybrid era is after ruining like close racing, honestly. Which is mostly because of Merc domination, to be fair.
Yeah. So obviously the other driver is Hülkenberg.
Hülkenberg is a very consistent driver, in my opinion. I think he's kind of the face of Renault. I think he brings in a lot of money to them because of
He's reliable.
And he also has the sponsor on his hat. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. Line up of Hülkenberg and Ricciardo, or would you I mean, Hulkenberg's someone who's been on the grid for ages, but as we said, he's been quite unlucky because he has been consistent, but he hasn't got a podium. And you have drivers like Lance Stroll and Grosjean who have.
If you're comparing Lance Stroll, if you're saying Lance Stroll, are you saying Lance Stroll is better than Nico Hulkenberg?
I want to make that clear. No, please, no. I want to make that clear. No, I'm.
Because I think there's, as you say, he's kind of a face, I think, more than anything for them, that brings in fans that have always been a fan of his and money. But again, unless you're going to, I don't know, pick Ocon, or there's not really many other people I think they'd choose to take. I think they're quite happy with him, even though, as you say, we're not saying Stroll's better, but when someone like Stroll
also saying, like you mentioned Ocon, I don't think Mercedes are in a situation that they're going to let Ocon go to.
I agree.
Another power unit team. Like, Ocon is too good for that. That's like Leclerc going from, instead of going from, like, let's assume he didn't get the Ferrari drive last season, but he did leave there. That's like him saying he went to McLaren.
Yeah.
Or he went,
exactly. So
or he went to Red Bull, which would have been ridiculous. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it was more of again. So if you take even Ocon out of the equation, then which would never have happened. There's not really many other choices. I think a team like Renault, who isn't particularly low, are going to pick.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Just in case like people think I'm being too harsh on Hulkenberg. I think he's a quality driver.
Consistent driver.
I was just raising the point that I think a lot of people.
Honestly, the reason he's there, it's honestly the reason he's there is because of how consistent he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I know
you bring in
doesn't stand out as much as say a podium.
But I don't know if consistency is enough for Renault. That's the thing. They
want to take the next step.
Yeah, they want to go somewhere.
But of course, they need the car for that, which they need to work on.
They do. I think that covers Renault pretty well.
Okay, now we're going to have the Stroll debate.
Oh God.
This is going to be
a debate between us three.
No, we all hate him. We all hate him.
Yeah, unanimous. There's no debate. We hate him.
Moving to okay. First of all, we're not going to touch on Stroll yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's assume that Stroll had to be in the picture because he technically has to, because he's daddy's boy.
Yes.
Yeah, his dad's like, oh, I went back.
Perez or Ocon?
Ocon.
Ocon for me. But you also, I understand the Perez argument.
Yeah, but because of the money, I believe that the actual reserve driver seat at Merck might actually be a better thing for him right now.
Yeah.
Than a seat in a struggling racing point team.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we said earlier with Williams, wasn't it, really, when they apparently offered him a spot there.
Exactly.
The Mercedes reserve spot is probably a much smarter decision for him.
I think
because
he knows he holds out, he's got a seat there.
He gets to test with a Mercedes factory team consistently. And now, and now, as soon as the regulation change comes in, they'll probably keep Bottas till then. But as soon as the reg change come in, Ocon will get that seat. Because it's easier for, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, is that it's easier for a rookie driver or a young driver to go to a top team after a regulation change. Because everybody is in the exact same boat.
They're dealing with a new car, almost new regulation.
Yeah, it's not like you're coming in 2020 when it's the last season before the regulation change, and everybody has been in a bloody car since the beginning of that regulation change, like Hamilton, like Vettel, like Verstappen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
And I think
here's one for
Ocon
you.
will get his seat as soon as what's his name is gone. As soon as Valtteri is gone in 2021. I can't see.
Do you think?
I can't.
Wait.
I think Hamilton could retire, but I don't think Hamilton will retire before he beats Schumacher's record because he loves winning.
No.
There's not a chance,
He won't.
and there's not a chance that Merck are going to fire him.
No.
No, God.
Stop winning championships. You're fired.
Unless Hamilton absolutely does something stupid like he done at McLaren, which is kind of the reason he got ousted from McLaren, because he revealed like team's technical secrets or something stupid like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's one thing for you that I want to put up is: do you think? So obviously you're in Ocon's position.
Yeah.
You've been out of racing a year, so say it's the end of the 2019 season. You can take, say for example, a seat comes available at Racing Point or one of the teams that's a bit friendly with Mercedes. You know, like as I say, but really Racing Point is the only one that sort of uses that sort of engine. But and so Ocon has a chance to race again. Does he take that, or does he wait another year? Because then 2 years out of F1, like I know he's still doing testing and stuff, but it's a long time. Does he go for that seat, say for example, because even though Stroll's dad, his dad runs a team, so he might just be like, I care about money more, which he probably does, to be honest.
I think he's.
And say, for example, Ocon gets back. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what would you say you would do in Ocon's position?
Be a better position to stay.
I think it's a better position to stay on a Mercedes sideline right now.
Yeah, I think it would be. I know it's a long stint out, but I think Ocon's exceptional.
Like if there's,
he'll be an exceptional driver that will be able to hold on to it.
Yeah, like his post-weekend tests at Spain, at Hungary, and also at after Abu Dhabi. So there are tests after it, so he could get a seat at those tests, and I think they're more valuable to him right now than a seat at a struggling Racing Point team.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that team isn't the same since Lawrence Stroll took over.
Administration.
Yeah, and they ceased to become Force India, and which was actually quite a decent midfield team, and they would get podiums, and I mean they got Lawrence Stroll a podium in that car.
They were that was Williams, so you got a podium.
Oh no, that was Williams, wasn't it? Sorry, I forget.
It was Perez at Azerbaijan as well.
Yeah, Perez, that's it. Azerbaijan, yeah, he got a podium.
I believe. At the moment, I do believe that it's a better move for him right now to stay at Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'd argue different if Force India were still in the position they are right now, like that they were like a consistent a consistent best of the rest team.
Yeah.
Which they're not.
No.
And I think we can all agree on that right now. They are not the best of the rest. I'd say they're the fourth slowest team at the moment. I still think Toro Rosso is the third slowest. No, I think Sauber is the third slowest. Toro Rosso is second slowest, and then Williams are miles off. But it's very close between the bottom half of the midfield.
Except for Williams, which is just in a league of their own in terms of how slow they are.
In terms of pace.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to keep Lance Stroll short because we're actually doing. We're taking very, very long. So here's what I'm going to say. And we're going to say consensually yes after I ask this question. Do we agree that if Lance Stroll's dad wasn't Lawrence Stroll, do we all agree that Ocon would be in that seat, not him?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I think that's all we need to say. Because that's the only reason he's there.
Yeah.
Because he went from Williams.
Go into any more. Otherwise, we will end up with an hour podcast, like a separate podcast.
There's a chance that we'll be doing this on our Monaco post review. because we might have time because we need things to fill the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll go into why that is later.
Save that a bit for them.
Yeah. Driver transfers, Red Bull. Downgrade. Straight downgrade. I don't care what anybody says. It's a downgrade. You're losing Daniel.
I agree.
You're losing Ricciardo. But the only reason Ricciardo left, in my opinion, is because he didn't want to be around Verstappen anymore.
Well, he was a number two driver pretty much at the end.
They were prioritising him the whole time.
They were prioritising Verstappen. They thought he was more likely to challenge. So, and Ricciardo's not that. He's, in my opinion, he's too talented to be a number two. And so he's.
Yeah.
Again, I think that makes sense why, again, we say we're going back to Renault, but as much as Ricciardo's move was a bit confusing because the engine, I think that's why, it makes a bit more sense to some of us why he did leave. He's just in Verstappen's shadow the whole time.
It makes more sense for him to go there because it's a factory team.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing, yes, that it's that oh my god, you're going to Renault, the team that gave you so many engine failures. But he can now help alleviate that.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to focus heavily for 2021, and I think Renault will be in the top 4 for 2021. A very close top 4 between the current 3 teams and Renault. Because they will be the 4 predominant factory teams. Then the rest are customer teams, and they're kind of shit.
Yeah.
No offense. McLaren might be able to push in there if they do some bloody madness under Zach Brown, but they've been shaky since they came back in 2015.
So obviously Verstappen's day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Verstappen's.
Verstappen is the future of that team, and honestly, I don't see fate in Gasly right now. I think a better driver for them long term is Lando Norris to Red Bull.
I mean, I think that would be a good move.
I think that
breaks Max's heart though.
I think that's
especially after how well he's doing this season.
But I think Gasly started way too slow this season. That's very worrying. That's very worrying. He got knocked out in Q2 in Australia in a Red Bull. That shouldn't happen. Period.
And then he finished behind a Toro Rosso.
Yeah, exactly.
He finished behind
the junior team.
Which is the junior team. That's just so embarrassing.
I'm willing to argue that Kvyat or Albon should be in that car ahead of him right now.
Oh, definitely. I think the only complications, obviously, you can't with Fiat is that he'd be going back again. But
Albon or Kvyat should be in that seat right now over them. I don't care.
Especially when you think how quickly they axed Fiat, obviously.
Yeah, but
when he was given that Red Bull shot, it was quite quick. I know it was different. It was because.
But to be fair now, he was Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen won a bloody race in a Toro Rosso. That doesn't happen every day. That's a very, very strange circumstance that happened. And the other reason he won that is because both Mercedes crashed on lap 1.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean,
that season was torturous to watch as a bloody Merc fan.
Yeah. Who are you rooting for, Hamilton or Rosberg, that season? Well, all the seasons they were together.
I don't really fight for a driver. I'm more interested in the actual team itself. I've been a Mercedes fan as a team.
Did you not favour?
I've always been
favour one of them.
No, not really. I've always been a Mercedes fan as a team, but I've always supported Ricciardo as a driver. I'm a Ricciardo fanboy. I'll admit to that.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
In drivers constructors, in the drivers championship, I'd like Ricciardo to win it, but I'd like Mercedes to still win the constructors.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Which is why I want to see Ricciardo at Mercedes. That's why I'm so biased towards it happening.
Yeah.
I will kiss.
There's not much to say about Red Bull, I guess. We all agree on Verstappen being
and the Gasly
name and the Gasly situation.
Ferrari picking up Leclerc.
We're speaking about Haas.
Haas.
That's a very good point. We skipped out.
Haas didn't change. Grosjean
change.
There was no change, so I guess this isn't going to take long.
Only team on the grid. Apart from Mercedes.
Yeah, apart from Mercedes. I'm gonna sum this Haas up very, very quickly. You're idiots for not dropping Grosjean. The end.
No, yeah, that's
it.
I mean, I said the same with.
That's it. That's honestly it.
So who would you replace him with, though? That's the only thing I said.
That's what I said when I was speaking about Hulkenberg. It's more It's even harder, I guess, than Renault, because
Okay.
Renault, as you say, is
Actually,
a factory team that's bigger.
I'm actually going to take a point out of my chat on YouTube by Velocity, who said Haas will pick up Perez and leave Grosjean.
Ooh.
Yeah, but obviously,
I mean, I like Checo, so
That's honestly a fair shout.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that could happen. I mean, to be honest, I don't see Grosjean staying there.
But because Ocon should have taken that seat. Stroll wasn't going anywhere as much as I bloody well hate the kid.
Yeah, it was
he
guaranteed.
never gonna
I
go
want that.
anywhere, yeah.
No, actually, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I was going to say something about a crash. But
Can't speak on Stroll again.
no. My God.
I mean, I think Haas is pretty easy to sum up because obviously it's almost going to be like Mercedes. They are the only other team that didn't change.
Yeah,
We can all agree Grosjean probably should have left, but it's a bit difficult for who they were going to replace with.
Was Stroll even in F2? Or where did he come from? Everybody quote me on that.
Just came me from like a cave.
I don't
He
even
doesn't know.
He gave him his dad's wallet.
Yeah, his dad was just like, oh, it was one of my many sons.
Yeah.
Chuck him in a car. Fuck it.
I actually don't know his history.
No,
of
I
racing,
generally-
quite
I
honest.
No,
generally
do I,
don't
you
know.
think? That's
See,
why I
you
asked.
must-
Which would make me think he didn't come from F2 if none of us.
Because
see-
yeah, most
No.
people know a lot of the younger drivers
Or
like records in F2.
yeah,
and stuff.
or at least the big names, the up and coming big names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was never touted as one of them. No surprise.
Velocity just made a very good point. He's this year's Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kobayashi I kind of like though because he was crazy. He just crashed into everyone. He was like he guaranteed to make the race more interesting.
He's just that one wild card to need, kind of like Grosjean, which is kind of
Yeah.
why I'm happy he's on the grid.
And you know what? Just like Grosjean, he got a podium. He got a podium at Japan.
No,
I can't remember what
We
year
don't-
it was, but he got a
don't-
podium.
we don't speak of it. We don't speak of Grosjean's podium. We don't speak of Grosjean's podium.
Okay, but Kobayashi got a podium anyway,
Yeah,
and I'm happy for that. He was such a smiley guy as well.
yeah.
He'd smile as he'd crash into you. That's what I loved about him. He just had that great attitude about it.
Was his podium at Fuji or Suzuka?
No, Suzuka. It was one of the.
Was
It
it?
was the modern.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that covers Haas pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it does.
Like-
and now we can go on the Ferrari.
Ferrari is Leclerc. That's the addition.
Yeah, that's the addition.
Can I say something very, very risky that I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for?
Yes.
Yes,
They
I
dropped-
will hate you immediately.
They dropped the wrong driver.
Ooh,
okay.
controversial.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to hate you for it because I'm not exactly a massive
And-
Vettel fan, but
And
I'm a
I
huge Raikkonen
and I will
fan,
argue
so-
it, and I will argue it, and I have a very good argument.
okay.
I would much rather Leclerc in his up and coming years, who looked like a championship contender at Sauber, because of how quick he
Yeah.
was, to learn under Kimi Raikkonen than Vettel. I think Kimi would have treasured that experience to teach an up and coming young driver. Vettel is just too arrogant.
But
That-
what I'd argue is that Ferrari's
Vettel-
not there to teach. It's there to win races.
Well,
Vettel's
yes.
got a better chance of winning races than
No,
Raikkonen did, and that's why he
but-
won more.
But Vettel is a very, very aggressive figure. He's not able to race wheel to wheel. I don't care what anybody says. He's very, very inconsistent. He's able to bin it at any time.
No, he is inconsistent. Especially, well, he's consistent with his spins.
I'm willing to say that Kimi Raikkonen has looked better this season than Vettel.
Ooh.
I mean, Vettel has got. Oh, well,
I mean, yeah, I
it's
guess when we're
difficult if
talking
you
about
judge
that
it on
car,
race
No,
results.
Raikkonen's done very well.
Think
But if you judge it on race
Think-
results compared to Leclerc, he's got more. Obviously, Vettel's got 2 podiums instead of him in the championship. Or is it 3 podiums now? I can't remember.
Obviously, a Leclerc one was robbed, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the Leclerc one, Leclerc should have had a win, and that
Yeah.
would have been Ferrari's only win.
exactly. So I argue.
I mean, I see where you're coming from,
I
but
argue.
I personally disagree.
I thought a lot of people. I thought you would, but I just wanted to put it out there that that's my honest opinion. I think
Yeah.
if you wanted to treasure your up and coming driver, you would give him Kimi Raikkonen to learn under. Because
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it would be a stupid move, and I don't think it's a stupid opinion. It's
because
actually,
Kimi, for one other reason that I'm going to mention here, I think Kimi is more consistent than Vettel.
yeah, I agree with that, honestly,
he is a
because
consistent driver. Yeah.
Vettel
is
Kimi's
very
consistently on the podium.
No, Vettel is very.
Can either
Vettel,
win a race by miles
yes.
or screw it in the wall. So I agree with you on that.
Vettel is the reason that they lost to 2017 constructors. Vettel is the sole reason, because after bloody Singapore, which was Vettel's fault. Well,
Yeah, I agree. It was Vettel's fault.
Yeah.
He squeezed Verstappen.
That was his fault, and that's lost him a constructors championship.
They lost him the drivers, arguably, as well.
Raikkonen is able. I honestly think that Raikkonen wanted to get out of Ferrari because of Vettel. I'm willing to argue it. Like,
Raikkonen doesn't strike me as someone who's bothered. But
yeah, like of course, but like
Raikkonen strikes me as the perfect person to deal with someone like that, because he just doesn't.
I think
He just never is
Raikkonen.
bothered by it.
I think Raikkonen would have been a better person for Leclerc to be under right now.
Maybe, but it's not about who'd be the better person for Leclerc. It's obviously about who's the best people for Ferrari.
But who's the best? Who's the best? Would you rather getting a win? Okay, like getting a very, very, very solid win, or would you rather a consistent race after race after race when the other driver is able to crash every second race?
Obviously,
is able to bottle it, because if you're more consistent than the other team, you're going to be able to capitalize on their mistakes. That's what Merck have been so good at with Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton.
But Raikkonen did poor last season up until the US.
But Vettel has arguably cost him. I'm sorry, he done bad up to the US. Can we address Monza?
Oh yeah, Monza, he did brilliantly. Yeah, no, you're right. He got pole in Monza, and it was incredible, Matt. But Raikkonen was.
He's more consistent.
Outclassed by Vettel.
He's more consistent. I think
he is. But who's competing for the titles with Hamilton? It's been Vettel, not Raikkonen.
I think
if you get what I'm saying.
If it would be this season, I think it'd be Leclerc.
This season, I don't think it'll be anyone for Ferrari, because they've got such a deficit. They've been really disappointing.
Well, yes, of course, but that's also down to bloody Mattia Binotto's team orders.
Yeah. Oh, they really need to take a leaf out Mercedes.
We'll go through that.
Either go for it or don't.
We'll go through that on the season so far. That's coming up after preseason.
Yeah.
We'll talk about race by race for 5 minutes a race or 10 minutes a race or whatever, and then we'll do our Monaco preview, and then we'll talk about the F1 2019 game that we can talk about for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, Mercedes, there isn't too much to cover because
they've
changed, and don't get me wrong, they're great, and Bottas is now a better driver.
Bottas has upped his game. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing. Whoever's idea was to keep Bottas, I applaud you.
I think it will also make Hamilton up his game, and I think it has, especially after Hamilton had a bit of a sluggish start at Australia, and I think it was kind of a rude wake-up call. Whilst last season he could have got away with that, this season
you can tell he had to try and push in Baku on that last lap where he went wide. He was obviously pushing pretty hard.
Exactly, yeah. So, Bottas has definitely upped his game.
Yeah, Bottas
I
is
agree.
doing well. And I think that's, as I say, I think that's pretty easy to go for Mercedes.
And it looks like for the first time since Rosberg, it's going to be I mean, obviously it is still early, but there's still it's quite a significant points deficit already with between Vettel and Verstappen and that to Bottas and Hamilton. It's looking like it's going to be between them.
Which is much I love Mercedes.
The future,
Hamilton, I would like to see a bit more of a competition.
Yeah, the future of Merck is definitely Russell and Ocon. I don't deny that. That has to be it. I think it's common knowledge that probably it will be it.
Russell was part of their drivers program now, I think.
Yeah, as much as I love Ricardo to be there because I'm a Ricardo fanboy to death.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either, but I can hope and pray.
Yeah, so I won't crush your dreams.
No.
Yeah. But can we all just agree that the Ferrari lineup right now, if Joe Bianchi was still alive, would be Joe Bianchi and Leclerc?
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah.
would be amazing.
That would have been.
I think
idolise
Vettel
that.
maybe would have gone back to Red Bull. I don't know where Vettel would have gone actually. In that case, but yeah, Bianchi would at least.
I disagree with
when he was driving. He was in the Marussia. He would have been at least in a bloody Sauber or a Haas, not in that undrivable thing. Which, by the way, a couple of races before he died, fucking managed to get P10 with that shit car in Monaco. Unreal. The guy was unreal, and that makes even more sense.
Monaco as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a very controversial comment in the comment section.
Oh, what did someone say?
Velocity, don't aim me, but I think Russell is better than Ocon. No.
Right,
Russell's
I mean,
better than Ocon.
It's not really been proven yet.
No, it hasn't, and I don't agree with it either. So I'm just gonna.
I don't agree with it, but it's difficult to
call it.
It's also difficult to disagree with it because you haven't been proven.
It's very hard to judge Russell right now.
You can only judge him on his teammate. But is it that Kvyat is massively underperforming or Russell's overperforming? We don't fucking know because Williams is so
it's
shit.
basically the battle of the two bins at the back.
Yeah.
Like, I think a car that if they actually had like drivers, I'll use say for me as an example. I'll use a wheelbarrow as an example. I think Claire Williams could pick up a wheelbarrow and put George Russell in the bloody car and run faster than the thing with him in it.
Yeah. Probably.
They'd win a wheelbarrow race in it.
Yeah.
That kind of wraps up driver transfers. Out of our 7 topics, after about 2 hours.
Yeah, it took considerably longer, but I mean, we went into some very good detail.
To be fair, we had to catch up a lot as well on last season.
Yeah, this was always going to be a long first podcast.
Yeah,
it was always going to be a longer one than usual, probably.
The next ones will definitely not be like this.
Yeah. Pre-season. I don't think there's much to say. I think Merck looked very slow, but
Ferrari looked incredible.
They kind of came out of nowhere. First of all, they did exactly. But I think that's kind of what happens every year, though. Merck always just sandbag him
and they always
testing.
downplay it. Toto always comes out and says, "Oh, the car's not that great. Ferrari have the advantage," and they did it. They do it all the time. Like,
and everybody says Ferrari is cryptic. And everybody says Ferrari is cryptic. No, Toto Wolff is cryptic.
Yeah, no, he's very clever at doing that, and I don't know. It might not make a difference, but I know it triggers a lot of Ferrari fans because they're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, what are you slow?"
Oh no! I love just going to Twitter directly after he said something like that and just watch Ferrari fans rant.
To be fair, I knew he was going to piss people off. It was at the end of Q2 in Baku qualifying. Sorry, it's the end of Q1 in Baku qualifying, and they interviewed him, and he was like, "Well, it would take an absolute miracle for us to get pole. Ferrari is so much quicker." And it was a Mercedes front row lockout. And everyone was just like, "Yeah, fucking..." I was so angry at him.
I love Toto.
Yeah, I do love Toto. And I loved F1 Twitter because as toxic as it is, it's also very funny. And you know what? There are some people who aren't toxic. But
it's the reason why I like Marcus, because they have Niki Lauda, one of my favourite drivers historically, and Toto Wolff.
Oh, Toto's just... Yeah, I love Toto.
I think
it's difficult to hate Toto unless you're a Ferrari fan who just hates everything Mercedes.
And Hamilton, to be fair, is also there. They have Valtteri, who's just like chill, and then they have the good man himself, Esteban Ocon. So, like, what's not to like?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do want to put in this question right now. What's your favourite livery? What's your favourite and least favourite livery? We'll say
as in the current season.
We'll say your top 3 favourite liveries doesn't have to be in any particular order, and your least favourite, like least 2 favourites, like it's 2 you really hate, just 1 or 2 that you really hate. I think we can all agree that the Williams looks shit.
I was going to say, I think we were all going to say the Williams is not a good one. Not just because I'm a fan, I love the McLaren.
And I'm actually going to say as a bad livery, I'm going to say Red Bull's current livery, like their race livery. It's the exact same thing. I'm actually pissed off at it right now.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. I would have preferred their testing livery, which Velocity rightfully put out. That's one of their nicest liveries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible. I remember when I sent it to you, Max, and I was like, "Oh my god, please, this be the
Yeah.
actual thing," because it was incredible. And then it wasn't.
Yeah, a lot
Um,
of people don't like the McLaren one, but that's one of my favorites.
the McLaren is definitely one of my favorites. I actually like the Merc this year, like the actual detail on the actual
Yeah, with
car
all the,
itself.
yeah, there's a lot of detail
The
on that car.
yeah, the actual arrows itself.
Yeah.
Like it's a very bland car, but it just looks nice.
It looks nice, yeah.
The Ferrari car I also think is very nice in the matte colors. It's a nice change to see.
Yeah, I thought the Ferrari was looks very nice this year. Actually, I'm certainly going to be including that in the top three. But anyway, do you want to go through it person to person?
Yeah, okay. Max, we'll start with you.
Me. Are we starting with our favorite?
Yeah, we'll start with your. We'll start with your three favorites, then your two least favorite, excluding the Williams.
McLaren being my favorite.
Yeah.
I think because I love the blend. I think it's such a nice look.
Yeah, agreed.
Mercedes for my second. As you said, I think it's classic, but they put in a lot of detail in this year, and I just think it's a nice looking
I would have liked to see their Flames car though. Would have looked interesting.
Yeah, I think that would have been a bit more.
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
And my third.
And they are a bit on fire, to be fair.
Yes, very true.
And your third?
My third. I love the look of the Renault. I think it's clean, and I just like the.
It's very clean. Yeah, it's very.
It's a very clean looking livery.
It's very clean, but I still prefer their 2017 livery. That nothing beats that livery. I will.
Yeah.
I'll explain why. Because if you look on top, it's all yellow. If you look from the side, it's all black.
It's all black.
Yeah, it just looks nice.
And then obviously Williams for my least. Second least.
Or just another one you're not a big fan of.
Big fan of. I think Racing Point looks messy.
Yeah, it looks very messy.
Yeah, I love the color. I think the pink and all the white is a great color scheme.
I just think the blue ruins it.
Things it looks. Yeah, I think it just looks messy.
The blue ruins it. Like the 2017 Racing Point looked nice.
Yeah.
Like
was that when it was still pink or?
Pink and white. With no blue.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah, that was nice.
That's my list.
Do you want to go next or will
I? Yeah, I'll go next if you want. Give you more time to recover after that coffee bit.
Yeah, I just got something caught in my throat.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, so for me, it's quite similar favourites in terms of, but there is one change. For me, I'm actually putting the Ferrari in there as one of my favourites, just because it's so simple, but there's something about matte red and the black. I've always loved that sort of matte red, and it was kind of a surprise because Ferrari don't usually change it. I mean, they're a bit like Mercedes and Red Bull in terms of they don't really.
I wonder how it will look
changes.
I wonder how it will look in the F1 game, the matte red, because because the Red Bull car still looks gloss.
Yeah.
I hope they've fixed that anyway, well, or at least addressed it.
Yeah. And so yeah, that car for me was definitely one of my favourites. And then for me as well, the Renault. I did really like that launch as well. And the other one, it's between the McLaren and the Mercedes, but I think I will go for the McLaren over it, but just because it's more of a change than the Mercedes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then in terms of the ones I dislike, there's not too many I dislike, but I'd just simply go Racing Point and Red Bull because they changed nothing. Obviously, Williams, you said, was a given, so
Williams is a given. We can all agree on that. It looks like it looks like bloody looks like a bloody. Okay, 1 second. It looks like some bloody toothpaste from Colgate.
Yeah.
Velocity, you're wondering why no one has said Haas. It's because the blue peak logo on the side of it looks crap.
I mean, I did like Haas.
No,
The
the blue.
library. No,
Yeah,
but when it was
yeah,
first,
it's nice.
when we first leaked, especially the leak shots, I said
Yes.
at the time that when before it was actually the big reveal, the leak shots, I was like, oh, that
Yes.
looks amazing. That might be my new favorite one.
I
Then it
think-
actually came out, and it was a bit of a disappointment.
Honestly, I think it needs more gold. I think that's the issue. It's just
Yeah.
too black. Like, if you had the exact Renault livery, but you had the yellow replaced
Yeah.
with gold, like a brighter gold.
But
Yes.
one thing I'll say about that Haas though is that it's better than last year.
Oh, definitely.
Because
They're-
last year was just,
oh,
just
and the year before, and the year before that.
yeah,
Improvement
just
at least.
Okay.
shit. So yeah. So,
I'm going to say the best livery by a mile is the McLaren. No argument there. Second is for me. I'm going to go with the Ferrari.
yeah.
Sixth is the third is Merc.
Mhm.
I'd also argue the Renault, but I still think the 2016 Renault is nicer, which is why I don't have it in my top three.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I think the two shittest cars by an absolute mile are the Red Bull, because they haven't changed feck all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they just haven't. And
No.
the save me. The Force India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all pretty much
If
same
you
opinion. Isn't it?
They're
Yeah.
all very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one thing I will say: it's a very colourful F1 grid.
It is.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think this year, weirdly, I don't know why, has been maybe
Also,
just because I missed F1 so much. It was like the year I was most
Yeah.
excited for the for all the liveries. I was like waiting for the
yeah,
releases and stuff.
the actual Toro Rosso car is also quite nice, but it's very similar to last year's.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Like it's better than the. Apparently, Velocity wants to try and get in for the next episode. That would be after the Monaco Grand Prix. That would be the next one probably, unless we want to do the strolling around podcast and we just follow Stroll for the entire race.
It's a £1 billion idea. That.
I shouldn't have said that on the stream. I'm actually sorry I did.
Yeah, now someone's gonna nick it, and it's gonna be like see a few weeks later, like the official F1 channel nicked it.
Yes.
Like, no.
Patent pending, trademarked.
Yeah, copyright now, quick.
Copyright. We're going to talk about the season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming into Australia,
Like, it's just start from
what
yeah.
what was the biggest shock?
Ricardo.
Ricardo in what way?
Absolutely screwing up when.
Oh, off
even
the,
though I'm
off
not a
the
huge
start, yeah.
Ricardo fan. Yeah, even though I'm not a huge Ricardo fan, it would have been nice to see him do well.
Okay.
I mean, I don't hate him, but for a driver of his caliber, that was such a bad mistake.
Okay. I'm going to say the biggest surprise of Australia was Pierre Gasly doing what he done.
Oh,
I
God.
did-
Finishing behind a Toro Rosso.
Yeah,
I did-
that's-
So that was what I was going to go for as well.
I didn't see that coming. First of all, I kind of knew he isn't as good as everybody thinks he is. I think he's very overrated.
Mm.
That's so often the case with a lot of those drivers.
But I also believe that our good friend Lando Norris was a very big surprise for me coming in. Like straight
Yeah.
off the bat,
Lando was-
straight off the
Lando
bat,
was
incredible.
good.
he had a
Yeah.
solid
Lando
qualifying,
was-
like a really good qualifying
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, definitely.
He
That was
outqualified
insane.
Sainz in his first race,
I'd-
and I mean, no, Sainz is quite young as well, but he's still a bloody good
Yeah,
driver. So
I'd honestly say McLaren as a whole was a surprise for me.
yeah, they
it
actually
was.
have
I mean,
pace.
Sainz had incredible pace. It was just unfortunate with the engine.
Yeah,
Mm. He
like
made 4 places in the first lap.
I'm willing to argue with them of that. The McLaren this year is arguably the best of the rest.
I think it'll be competing. I think it's between.
They're fourth,
mean,
aren't they, in constructors? at
Yeah,
the
they
moment?
currently are. They are the best of the rest currently. That
But-
really coveted spot because the money is so significant for that.
But
Yeah,
I
as you say, I think
but
that
but
is
I
a huge surprise.
I think they could fall behind later on in the season after teams bring upgrades if they can't keep it the development race. Because I think
it's to not get too excited.
Yeah, exactly. Alpha are definitely going to improve over time.
I think Haas need to sort their race pace. Haas have a really good qualifying pace. If they can get their race pace, they could really challenge McLaren. That's the only thing stopping them.
I think Haas, McLaren, and Renault are the three that can challenge it.
Yeah, I agree.
I then think that Sauber are going to climb their way up closer to them, but still a bit of a gap. Yeah. Like they're going to be in a no man's land because I have a weird feeling that Toro Rosso, after I'm going to say Britain, is going to become a guinea pig again for the rest of the season. It's just going to be testing parts for the Red Bull car. That's all it's doing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so that's honestly how I see the season progressing. But I honestly hope McLaren as like a semi-supporter of McLaren, because they're my second favorite team on the grid after Merc.
Yeah, McLaren. I do like Alpha as well, but McLaren, because of obviously Hamilton, it's where he won his first world championship, and Hamilton was there for so many years. It's always had a team that's been a special place in my heart, especially and also having Button there and with Alonso, you always want to see them do well. It's such an iconic team. My biggest shock though from the Australia, as you said, my one, which was the Gasly thing.
Yeah.
I will say Bottas, obviously, the 20 seconds clear of Hamilton. That was a good shock. And I know he had suspension. He apparently had some suspension issues, but it still was
Hamilton had floor issues.
Floor issues, sorry.
Yeah. Like he had a chip out of his floor that apparently cost him about a tenth or two a lap.
Exactly, but even then, it was such a massive shock considering how bad Bottas had been last season. And then he suddenly did that.
It really was his to lose, though, to be honest with you. Like, as soon as he actually got past it, I said, oh my god, this is going to happen. Like, after that actual start, it was incredible. I think Ricciardo just bottled it, but he always has a shit Australia, to be fair, like all Australians do. Like,
Webber was shit there as well.
And an Australian has never been classified on the podium at their home Grand Prix.
Because Ricciardo nearly did. He was disqualified, wasn't he?
No, he came fourth.
Oh, he got a penalty. Because one of the years he actually thought he qualified third, and then after the race they took it off him because of a fuel irregularity.
You're
right.
Ricciardo having a shit Australia is, well, no hidden secret. I think anybody could have said that.
I think it was just quite surprising because it was just weird. It was a real rookie mistake.
Yeah.
But
again, it was my most shocking because no one pushed him off the track. It was just a bad move.
Moving to Bahrain, which is next track, if I'm not mistaken.
Best race of the season so far.
I would agree.
Yep.
I feel bad for Leclerc. Press F to pay respect.
Yeah, even as a Hamilton fan, I think it was painful to see Hamilton.
As a Mercedes fan, even if you're a Mercedes fan, even if you bleed Mercedes, even if you hate Ferrari with a vengeance, that is horrible.
Exactly. Especially someone like Charles, who just dominated the weekend.
He's such a likable character. That's the thing.
Yeah, he is.
And then it ends up being another Mercedes one too, which is kind of the team of the season so far.
Yes, yeah. He was obviously saved from Verstappen nicking his podium because of the two Renaults decided to go out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Significantly helped McLaren as well.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark, by the way, I think.
Okay. So who's your biggest shock from that race then?
I'm going to say once again the McLaren of Lando Norris. I'm sorry, he's incredible.
Yeah, I mean that was the first, as I said, the only time someone.
Wasn't Albon also incredible during that race? Was that one? I believe it was.
No, it was China. He started.
China.
He started from the pit lane and finished P10.
Actually, that bloody there's something I want to talk about China actually when we get to it. It's very controversial.
Okay. My biggest shock, I mean, I won't say the same one, but Norris would have been.
Velocity actually confirmed that an Australian has been on the podium in Australia. It was John Smith in 1983.
Okay, so it's not in the modern era. That's good fact though.
But in the modern era, that there hasn't been one like Weber
that's
and
kind of crazy,
Ricardo.
Yeah, with those two drivers. But yeah, my biggest shock, as you've obviously said, Norris, and it still is. I think that is the biggest shock. But another mention is obviously I'm going to say the Leclerc thing. That was a shock. He dominated the whole weekend. He was miles ahead. He was going to win. He raced brilliantly. He passed Vettel. He had a shocking start. Then managed to get back, overtake Vettel, and had a brilliant race. And then obviously, the engine failure.
Top class.
Yeah, he couldn't have done any more.
Actually, I have another surprise actually for Australia. Another shock. I'm actually going to say Verstappen.
Yeah, it was the first podium for Honda since the McLaren days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that was quite significant as well. And yet the Ferraris were so slow in Australia. That was another shock that we forgot about. And another shock, I guess, in Bahrain was then how quick they were in Bahrain. But we sort of expected it because of pre-season.
Yeah. But Markov always tended to struggle on hotter tracks.
Exactly.
Ferrari excel in warm climates when are cool climates like China or
Merck struggle for pace then. So Max, what was your biggest shock then for?
I mean, Renault was pretty shocking.
Both at the same time. I forget.
Yeah, both at the same. I mean, not fault really, but that was a big one. That was kind of right at the end, and everyone thought, well, that's the lineup, and then and safety car because Ricciardo took his
safety car,
didn't he? Yeah.
And that's actually technically the only reason that he what's it called? Leclerc got the actual podium in the end. He would have lost that as well. So he has a lot to thank for Ricardo.
For me, I guess the two Renaults, but I guess a good surprising thing, obviously Norris, but on the other side of McLaren, seeing Sainz really push a Red Bull was impressive.
Yeah, that was very impressive. That was very impressive. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, neither did I, and that was really nice to see as a McLaren fan. So they're my big shocks.
It's good to see McLaren back in a fight for the top 4 or top 5. I want to see them. I want a 4-way constructors battle in 2021 between a 5-way constructors fight down to the last few races between Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and Renault.
The last time we had a season like that was when was it 2012 when Vettel won his first championship? Oh, sorry, 2010 when Vettel won his first championship, and he had it wasn't that many constructors, but he used so many drivers. We had Alonso, Webber, Hamilton, Button, and Vettel also.
Yeah, when Braun came along is when I fell out with bloody McLaren.
Yeah.
So that's because because
Hamilton couldn't drive his car, literally, and Kovalainen was his fucking teammate as well, which didn't help.
Yeah, but because I liked him as a I liked the Braun car just as an actual underdog, but because nobody saw it coming. I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were only formed a few weeks before the season, literally. And Button didn't have a drive until the very end. And they just clobbered everything together. And it was the genius of Ross Brawn. Somehow that happened. It was just unbelievable.
And that then developed into Mercedes, which is how I'm a Mercedes fan today.
You can see why Mercedes bought them, can't you?
Yes, I can. Of course. That's quite obvious. They nearly went into actual they nearly went into a bloody Force India thing and at the end of that season, but because they actually couldn't afford to race in 2010 as a thing and defend their actual championship, which is kind of how Merck weren't really at the top compared to Red Bull
Yeah.
next season. And also, to be fair now, didn't Braun also have like some diffuser or some stupid nonsense
Yeah,
like that?
and it was
Broken.
the diffuser.
Yeah, it was broken. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked again, and we need to get through this. Season so far, China. Biggest surprise for me is drive-through penalty for Kvyat. That wasn't a drive-through. That wasn't a drive-through. I don't care what anybody says. That's a 5-second penalty.
I think it should have been. Yeah, I think it was a bit harsh because as much as it was bad driving from into the collision.
Yeah.
You don't usually get a drive-through for that unless you literally like endanger someone's life. He just bumped. He bumped Norris in winter signs. Bumped Sainz into Norris. Sorry.
I think
Norris sort of went up. It looked a bit more dramatic. Yeah. And it was bad.
First
driving,
lap, I suppose, more lenient
I honestly think the
only
reason Kvyat got the drive-through is, I think it's because the other driver went up on 2 wheels. I think that's the thing that kind of threw it over the edge for a drive-through.
He posted that shooting star.
Oh yeah.
I honestly think if it's just a nudge and only like wheel to wheel was made and the car didn't go up in the air, I think it was actually a racing incident. Or even a 5-second maybe at most. But like a drive-through,
I think 5-second would have been deserved.
Yeah, like
it was very harsh, especially for the first lap. When
there's a lot of instances on the first lap. Like maybe if that's like lap 10 or 11.
Yeah.
When
if
everyone's
that's lap 10 or 11, that's reckless, and you can argue he even deserves the drive-through because that's
of course.
retarded to do
but there's a lot of crashes
first lap was very surprising.
On first lap, especially into that corner. It's a very difficult corner, especially on first lap. Like there's always contact there.
So that was your biggest shock.
And also Velocity wants to point out for the record Albon's recovery race, and I will second that.
Velocity, that was mine. God. I don't know now.
I'm just reading out the chat.
Not gonna kill him,
well, you can see.
But that would have been mine. That was amazing.
You can take the exact same one and you can actually explain it if you want. And just go through it.
Sure, I guess because he's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be Albon because, obviously it wasn't a podium, but to start from where he started after...
Yeah.
Was it Q2 crash?
I believe so, and he also got wing damage, didn't he, on the first lap?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he started in the pit lane as well, which is just...
Yeah, because then he started in pit lane, and then to cut through how he did was...
incredible.
Just amazing. And that's why he got driver of the day, which was easily deserved.
To be fair, I honestly believe at the moment he deserves the Red Bull seat for next season over Gasly, with the way he's performing.
I think he's
done well. I don't know
well.
though, because he's gone straight up though from F2, so it'd be a massive jump because he's already jumped from F2 to F1 and then suddenly to Red Bull.
Well,
I think it'd be too much for him, so I think Fiat's probably more experienced.
No, but next
season,
season.
Next season.
Like not now. Like next season, then definitely.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that was mine.
Oh no! I know exactly what I want. I'm going to go deviate back to Ricardo because I was just thinking Ricardo. I think Velocity actually said it. I just want to make sure because I need to quote him if he did say it. No. I don't think he did. Ricardo to McLaren if McLaren get good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well.
Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo at McLaren.
That would be juicy. Yeah.
I would take that. What about yours, Robbie?
I'd say
that feels nice. Anyway.
Well, I'd say it was a shock, but it wasn't really a shock for me. But I think it was a shock for a lot of people who were on the Bottas bandwagon after Australia, was the fact how much quicker Hamilton was than Bottas. He won that race so comfortably, and it was sort of a reality check moment.
Him off the line as well, didn't he?
Yep, exactly. Smoked him off the line, just so quick. And also the China race isn't usually that boring. That was another shock.
Yeah,
China
it
race
was.
is usually a bit better than that because it's so
even
good
though
for
it was
overtaking.
mad,
I
that
must
Mercedes
say.
double
Yeah,
stack was amazing.
like that track was dead. Like it was, I was arguably one of the most entertaining races of last season because of the two-stop by Ricardo.
Yeah, exactly, and it's so good
It
for
was incredible.
strategy, as you say, because the tire deck is quite unpredictable. Also, you've got the long straights for overtaking. And I remember I screenshotted it because I was like really excited because how good Bahrain was, and I screenshot something that F1 put up, and it was like, Bahrain has like had like 100 over 100 overtakes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then China, they were like, well, China averages about like it was 120 last year, and I was like, oh my god. It's going to be another amazing race, and then my heart was broken. Yeah, it was just boring.
Do we need? Is there anything we need to talk about really about Azerbaijan? That race was a
qualifying.
Yeah,
the qualifying was more interesting than the race.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Leclerc-Binia was very, very like I didn't see that coming.
I also felt really bad because of how hard he was on himself.
Yeah,
like straight away,
stupid,
like
yeah.
I am so stupid.
It is. I mean, even for me on this, and I'm not driving a real F1 car, that is a hard corner.
And he just the experience they showed Hamilton the lap before. Hamilton locked up, realised he wasn't going to make the corner because he's got experience, and just went on the escape road. Leclerc did exactly the same thing. He just doesn't have that experience of, you don't always have to go 100%. It's just sometimes better to be safer, and went for it, and obviously fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much to say about that.
And I believe Kubica also been in the same corner.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And it was literally straight after they repaired it, and then it was fucking red flag for ages, and it was getting dark as well, and they were worried they weren't going to finish it.
Oh yeah, the actual track temps actually made that very interesting.
Though. Yeah, qualifying was really exciting. It was one of the best qualifyings I've seen in a long time.
I'm actually going to say Red Bull at that race was actually very interesting.
Yeah, and they did well in quali. They were fastest in Q1 and Q2.
Does anybody else have to put on anything about Baku, because Velocity does, and I just want to make sure you don't want to say anything.
One other thing I'll say is can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, Perez did decent, got sick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I want to say something that Velocity just mentioned that we entirely forgot about: the manhole cover.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The manhole cover and the
they got money from it.
They sued the track because they only had one spare chassis, and then Kubica binned it in qualifying, so they had to get another chassis it cost them a fortune. So
yeah, the manhole cover, and also the truck crashing into the bridge.
That's hilarious. It was like right after they put the car on the back of the thing, and then they're like, right lads, let's take this broken car back, and they just hit the bridge like the top of the crane. It's so funny.
It was incredible. Okay, Spain next.
Yeah,
last one. Yeah,
most recent race. Yeah,
last race. Anything interesting to say?
Just.
I appreciate Grosjean changing the track forever.
I will officially. Wait, what did you say again?
I said I appreciate Grosjean extending the track 3 laps in a row, basically.
Yeah. I would like to point out that once again it's Spain and it's an absolute storefest because it's also used as a testing track and everybody has too much data, so it's always done car by car by car, like team by team by team. Like it's all, like it's like Noah's Ark on the grid. They line up 2 by 2, like it's color coordinated the entire way down.
My biggest shock from that race, because there wasn't much to talk about, was in quali Bottas did an incredible lap. He was 6 tenths quicker than Hamilton in second, and obviously Verstappen did well because he split the Ferraris. The Ferraris had like no pace, and then in the race, he smoked Bottas off the line.
They've been having issues all.
He did, yeah. Oh yeah, the first corner was probably the most interesting thing at some point.
Because Vettel, it was three-way. It was a three-way.
Actually, the shock for me was, even though I wasn't too disappointed, I was pretty disappointed with McLaren's qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sainz especially, being his home Grand Prix, I thought it was
But
really meh from them.
yeah, I definitely agree. I just want to address by Spain. I'm happy that it's not on. It's not going to be on the calendar anymore. More most likely, and that it's and that I hope it still remains as a testing track because it's a good place to do winter testing. I think it's good to do testing on a track that we don't race because
Although
you won't have as much data because like look at how little data teams had for Azerbaijan and look how hectic that qualifying was
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they didn't know what true pace was for each team.
what I say about Spain though is that it's sort of again a lot of people saying why was it removed because it's iconic.
I call bullshit on that because it's iconic in the slightest.
Well, it's been around for a while. I think that's what people mean. But
Not that
if you're
long.
going to scrap it on entertainment, then where do you draw the line? Obviously,
No.
you draw the line at Monaco. But
No, Britain is iconic, and that's looking like it could get axed. Like that's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's all
Like-
about money, and if
like-
you haven't got the money, it's...
Like there's a level of difference between iconic between Silverstone, Monaco,
Oh, yeah.
and Spain.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a big
Oh, yeah,
difference.
God.
Like
Yeah, no, I agree.
can you tell me actually? I was watching a thing by Chainberry. It's one of the F1 guys. He does a quiz show. Can you tell me what the longest running race on the calendar is?
It's the longest track.
No, consecutive years,
Oh,
like year after year, year after year. No,
Oh.
Silverstone.
no, it's Hungary. After
Oh,
Monaco,
really?
after
That's
Monaco,
really surprising.
after Monaco, it's Hungary.
That is really surprising.
Because Silverstone left for a year because it had to do some renovations or some bullshit like that. So
Oh,
they,
no, I remember that when they changed the track.
yeah, so then it was off the calendar for a year, and Hungary came in that year. You see, so Hungary's a year longer,
Yeah.
and Monza I think is 2 years shorter than the new Silverstone layout because that also had to take a break because of Italy's issues. But it's actually Hungary.
Oh yeah, I'd also like to correct something I said earlier because I said that Norris was the only one to get P6 in the top 6. I forget Perez got P6 in Baku because Gasly
Yes.
had an engine failure.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
Gasly actually raced quite well that race because you remember he
For once.
had like a ridiculous grid penalty, so he was starting from quite far back, and he actually got up to 6th and he was showing good pace.
And Leclerc
And then-
actually had a decent race that race as well. To be fair.
Well, he got driver of the day because he got the first lap, I think.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, and how well he actually done. He just got fucked over by Ferrari strategy.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. Everything about Ferrari at the moment is bizarre.
I
strategy.
would also like to go back to the weirdest thing about China. I would argue was the team orders.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was similar. It was sort of actually it came back
Like-
in Spain
like
in
they're-
terms of
like
they
they're-
were so late. with it.
Yeah. Like they're trying to copy Mercedes with the team orders. Well, Mercedes just do it so much more efficiently.
Yeah, it's just massively.
Like, if they think it, they're immediately going to do it. If they think it's faster,
Yeah.
they do it straight up. They don't mess around with it. They just say do it.
Ferrari are just too hesitant because they don't want to upset either driver,
That's why,
especially when you've got
it's
two big characters.
yeah, it's why I like Merc with Hamilton and Valtteri because Valtteri knows he's a second driver to Lewis Hamilton.
Mm. Well,
That's
that changes this year, though, in terms of Bottas continues to. We'll see. Anyway. But,
If he continues at the level he is, maybe. So that's the championship so far. And also, I think we didn't touch on actually that I want to bring up really quick is what do you think on an extra point for the fastest lap? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I like it.
I'm with you on
I
that.
like it as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. It may, I mean, because you've seen a few people, go in to change tires just to get it.
Yeah, like if you have
Gasly did it in China.
yeah, in China, but because there was
Robbed it from Vettel on the last lap. Remember?
Yeah.
enough
Oh,
of
yeah,
gas.
you weren't there. I was at Joe's. My mate Joe's a massive Vettel fan, and it was hilarious seeing his face. It was-
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think
Yeah,
it's,
there was-
I think it adds that nice little competitive edge, and obviously it being in top
Enough for
10
gap.
makes it fair. It doesn't make it stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a nice edge.
But it's also good how it's only for drivers classified in the top 10, because if it wasn't, it'd be stupid.
Yeah, it would be.
Otherwise, Williams would get every time.
I still think Williams are still too slow.
Yeah.
I'm joking. They wouldn't get anywhere near it. They'd be like 20
Struggle.
seconds, we suppose.
There's I'm not sure if you've seen the photos on Instagram, like of the actual race pace this season of the amount of distance covered.
I think I have, yeah.
Williams
I
are
think I have as well.
Williams are still the lowest, even though drivers have had DNFs.
Yeah, I know. And Williams actually haven't had many DNFs at all. They've had
No,
like...
they haven't had any yet this season.
No,
Yeah.
they haven't. You're
No,
right.
they
And,
haven't.
I mean, you got to give it to them. They're
Yeah.
reliable, but they're shit.
Oh,
Carlos
I mean-
Carlos Sainz has had more time on track. The two Renaults have had more time on track distance-wise, not including practice, by the way.
Yeah.
Race and qualifying
But-
only. No, not including
Because
qualifying
they're so
either.
far behind, they
But
get
it-
lapped so many
yeah,
times, so
yeah.
they do less laps overall.
Yeah, that the bloody Sainz and the Renaults have actually covered more distance than them. It's ridiculous. That's how far they're off the pace.
Mm.
I think in Australia, actually, here's the wicked thing I learned. Every driver from as far as 12th have lapped but Williams.
Yeah.
12th. That's outside the points.
And you
Are
often
lapping.
see like a minute difference between a Williams car and like a Sauber car, and like say the later stages of the race, it's like between 16th and 17th or whatever when there's been a load of DNFs. It's shocking.
The gap to the car in front of them, I think at the end of Australia was like 47 seconds to the first car in front of them.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's
Monaco.
crazy, yeah.
Let's talk about Monaco. I'm expecting a snorefest.
I am, but I'm hoping somehow there's rain and it's crazy.
I'm hoping something.
I'd love heavy rain thunderstorms.
That would be crazy, because then that would be like unreal driver skill, whoever won that. Because no matter where you start on the grid, like it's fucking like
Okay.
so difficult not to bin in those conditions.
Can we all agree that the obvious prediction is the two Mercs taking 1-2? That's the obvious prediction? Okay. Ballsy predictions, boys. Let's hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna go for this is wait. Do we have like one sort of a bit out there but realistic one as well?
I'm gonna ask you two questions. The first question that I'm gonna ask now is your risky prediction for qualifying.
Okay.
Then it's just your dark horse driver in general for the weekend.
Okay, yeah. All right. So qualifying.
A bit of a dark horse. Like, who do you think could take pole? Like, outside the Merc cars, because they're the obvious choice.
Yeah, qualifying. I think Verstappen could. I think it is a good shout for pole.
Yeah, of course.
And then for the race, it's like a dark horse. Someone who could do quite well. I have a feeling Carlos Sainz or one of the McLarens, either Sainz or Norris. I think Monaco's very good for the McLarens because it's heavy on aero.
Yeah.
And with the two drivers they have, I think either Sainz or Norris. But because Norris has done well already, and I think Sainz is due maybe like a really good race.
Yeah.
I think maybe Sainz is my dark horse for the race itself.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go next?
Practically took mine, so I'll try and change it a bit. But I was going to also say Verstappen. I think for quality.
I honestly think he will, just because of the downforce.
Yeah. It's just
The performance gap is reduced a lot.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, still, they're very strong in downforce. But even though Christian Horner went on record and said that the Red Bull is worse than the Merc in every way this season.
Yeah.
So that says a lot as well. So it could be a Merc pole, to be fair.
And race dark horse, I also was going to say Norris, but I'll switch it up. And because he's had a slow season, I think Ricciardo might do something impressive.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Well, you took
Because
Ricardo.
obviously he's
Yeah.
been great in the past at
Yeah.
Monaco. So
My prediction is that I'm going to predict the top 4 qualifying.
okay.
I'm going to predict all the top 4.
Oh.
Verstappen, Hamilton will take pole. Verstappen will take second. Leclerc will take third.
Do you think the Ferrari's going to be that high up? Because the Ferraris suck at street circuits, especially like considering how bad they did in the Sector 3.
I think because of Leclerc's home race, I just want to give him a bit of hope.
I guess ability-wise, he's good at street circuits.
Yeah, and that as well. Like he actually done quite well at Monaco in his debut season, and he
would have got pole at Baku.
And they raced in F2 as well. So
yeah,
that's their thing. So I'm going to say him for third. I'm actually going to say Valtteri Bottas for fourth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ricardo fifth.
Okay, yeah.
Norris sixth. Carlos Sainz seventh.
Oh.
Gasly eighth.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the other McLaren and Renault it'll be the other Renault and Vettel will qualify 10th because he's going to bin it in Q3.
Damn, bold prediction. Especially in that little one. But I rate it.
I mean, as a McLaren fan, I hope you're right.
The race...
And for race ballsy prediction, I'm going to predict Daniel Ricciardo to go up to first off the line.
Whoa.
And win.
So,
and
win the race?
And win Monaco back to back.
But in a that is taking ballsy prediction to another level.
That's a ballsy prediction. It's a risky it's a risky prediction, but to be fair, he should have won it twice already.
Yeah, I remember in was it 2017? 2016. 2016 when they didn't have the tyres ready.
Yeah.
That was shocking. They called him in and they were like, "Wait, we don't have any tyres out." So bad.
I'm going to say honestly that he on the grid at the moment is the best driver around Monaco.
He's certainly good at it. He's certainly very good.
He's
certainly one of the best.
I'm almost sure he has the most wins around Monaco out of everybody.
As I say, I don't think Hamilton has many. I think he only has 1 or 2. Hamilton.
I think he only has 1.
Although he had one. Yeah, I think it's only 1 actually. Although he had one robbed from Rosberg.
Yeah,
and then another one robbed by.
Okay,
his team.
so he should have 3 then technically. Hamilton, Vettel has 2, I think, and Webber got the other 2.
He does.
Weber,
they were both in Red Bull,
yeah. Ricardo has 1 but should have 2, so Hamilton should technically have 2. Because when he won it against bloody Ricardo was ridiculous, and I think Ricardo's going to win in a Renault. And this will be the only race this season that a car outside of Mercedes and Ferrari will win. I don't think a Red Bull will win this entire season.
I think the only way they will is a Red Bull will win. Any other car
Mexico.
will be with Hamilton or whatever.
And or Mexico. Or Mexico. That's the only other shot that Red Bull have. Because they're got a high altitude. But yeah, Ricardo's my absolute ballsy prediction for this race.
That is a big one, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. How long has this been going on for now?
We'll sort of look back to these after Monaco, I reckon, to see like.
Yeah.
Imagine if I called it though. Imagine.
Well, you'll be going on about the whole podcast. You'll just be like, "I'm a genius. I predict." You'd be so happy as well as Ricardo fan.
Just because of Ricardo.
Yeah.
I think he deserves the second one, though. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, Hamilton won.
When was the last time Renault won a race?
Hamilton's got 2, hasn't he?
When was the last time Renault won a race?
2009 with the Crashgate scandal.
Oh yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about that actually.
That was a dark day for the sport.
Yeah. Hamilton's 3rd win.
Okay.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he won in 2008.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking just the Mercedes area because I couldn't remember him. I only remember him when he won.
He's only had 2, but yeah, back then.
Oh my god.
So in his second ever season, he won Monaco with the fucking hell.
I was right about one thing. I originally said 150 minutes. We've been going on for 150 minutes so far.
Oh, but like we are, to be fair, towards the end. So
Yeah, we're almost there now.
Now we can talk about F1 2019.
yeah.
Yes! Yes! Oh.
Whatever's we tuned in for.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest, what do you want for the game as a whole coming up? Like, I just want a clean day one. I don't want any like bugs or anything like that. Like, I just want I just want like the main thing I want is a clean day one. Like,
But they pushed it forward, so I think that's kind of risky because obviously they pushed the release date forward.
They've been working on this one for 2 years.
Oh, really? That long?
Yeah, they've done it.
Okay,
An
that makes
extended
sense.
year.
They
started in 17 then.
Yeah, because they actually got the rights to the Senate thing actually in 2017, but they couldn't release it until 2019, according to the agreement. So they began working on that then. Velocity does have made a good point in saying custom helmets, like better custom helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people want.
Am I the only person who also wants to change the color of your gloves on your steering wheel?
I mean, it's personally not one of my top priorities, but
I
can understand the point of being nice customization.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I think better customization. In
general.
like
a better customization. Velocity also said sponsors on helmets.
Yeah, although you'd obviously need like fake companies, but yeah.
Velocity's a real Lando
well,
Norris with helmet design.
Well, unless it's say for me like if it's with the current team you have, then maybe fine.
Yeah.
Or if it's like generic ones, like for example, like Pumas on every single bloody race suit,
exactly.
or if it's Pirelli.
Yeah,
or if it's like your engine, like a supplier like Honda or something like that.
One of the things that they have introduced though is
also
for the online you can change your liveries and stuff, which is quite cool.
Yeah,
for your car, which is really good.
That's cool. Also, he said Rolex as well, like the Rolex.
Yeah, they sponsor. They're always on like the big boards across the F1.
And also, he also said the shitty plastic on top of the helmet, like the AI, for the additional aero on the helmet. You know, on Nico Hulkenberg's crash helmet, the like clear plastic on top of the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want the ability. You know how you're able to tear, like drivers tear their the mask off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The place where you tear from, I want to be able to put an Irish tricolour there.
Okay, yeah.
I just like just the option to, if you want, you can put your own country's nationality there. I'd also like to actually have your name on your race suit.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's annoying the bloody life out of me. Even if it's just your surname or your first name or however the team does it, plus your bloody country's flag. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, I tell you something I really want as well that would be quite easy to do: national anthems.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, when they have like, obviously, I'm used to hearing the Mercedes national, like the Mercedes national anthem. Yeah, I guess it is the German national anthem for the Mercedes, and then the British. It just makes it feel so much more authentic.
Yes, be able to hear the national anthems. That'd be incredible. But I don't think I don't think it's in the game. But I'd like to see it for 2020 anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you're an Irish driver, because this will apply to me especially, I want to be able to hear the Irish national anthem for the driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting a flag in the game, you have to have the national anthem for it.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it'd just be really awkward.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, it's just no music, and it's just you're a bloody driver just standing there with the cap off.
Yeah, just like standing awkwardly, and everyone else is just looking at him.
I've spoken about this before, and it's he also said Velocity also said not a blank halo.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I'm gonna say that I've always wanted for the longest time: an open world paddock.
Yeah. Well, you could. The closest we got to that was, I can't remember what F1 game it was, but you could
F1,
literally you could walk to your
F1.
trophy cabinet
Yeah,
around.
it was done in F1 2006. It was also done in F1 2010.
It was 2010. That's it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
But I want it to be like an option that you're able to go into your hospitality suite area. You're able to go into the R&D trailer. Like,
And walk around.
Like, just walk around in those areas, and as soon as you get to the front door, you're able to say go to the garage, and you're able to physically hop in the car.
And also, if you could,
like
if there's
walk
like
out
a
to the car.
specific media area as well, like a specific media area, so you can walk over if you feel like, because obviously you would have like the mandatory interviews.
Yeah,
like, say, after you
just giving like a cheeky interview.
Yeah, if you feel like you've just done like a good session, or you're feeling good, or maybe you're angry or something, I don't know, but you just have the option to go over if you want to interact.
I'm so pissed off that I no. End of season 10. Here's my interview will be. I'm very pissed off that I got dropped from my seat because of Lance Stroll. I'm retiring and going to Formula E.
Yeah, that'd be true.
But I do love that they've implemented F2, which is something that everyone's been screaming for.
That's
career mode.
That's incredible.
That's just unbelievable. I thought it'd never happen, and the fact it has so soon is just
so amazing.
Beautiful.
Also, how you have like a proper like drivers like that they've after like actual fake drivers in the game. That they're
and you have team orders. F2 as well.
The F2 team orders are like for the first 2 years. Velocity said driver transfers, please.
Yeah, that would be good, but that's always been an issue with licensing.
Like, well, yeah, but Liberty Media have been very, very like forthcoming with this, like compared to licensing. You know what I mean? Like,
that would be nice.
like for example, like now that they have F2, I'd like to see like even the fake drivers come into F2 after like a real driver gets promoted.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Because then, otherwise you can't really have the promotions without.
Let's assume that Kimi Räikkönen retires and he gets replaced by, let's say for example, Latifi.
Yeah.
And a fake driver replaces Latifi. It doesn't have to be a real driver; it just has to be a fake driver. And even if drivers are able to move around teams in F1 and all, that'd be incredible.
It would be much nicer.
Like, I want to be driving next to Daniel Ricciardo on Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm biased towards that man.
No, but it would be good if, as you say, I mean, like, you wouldn't avoid going to certain teams because you're like, oh, I hate that driver or whatever. And also, like, you know, when you move teams, you're obviously replacing someone and you don't know who you're replacing. So, for example, when I moved to Mercedes, in my career, I was praying that I was replacing Bottas and not Hamilton, which luckily I replaced Bottas, not Hamilton.
Yeah,
but
it's normally...
whilst if you have driver transfers, they can just go to another team. So
it's normally the first driver. What I would like... Even something smaller, if you had enough respect, you know how you're able to gain like the levels of respect?
Yeah.
You should have a say on what driver you replace. If you have enough for that team.
Definitely.
Like, you should be able to say that, like, oh yeah, I have enough respect, I'm arguably the better driver coming in, and I want first driver, but I also want Lewis Hamilton as my teammate. Like, you should be able to do that. Also, can you have the option for equal status as driver?
Yeah.
So maybe you get like half the amount of resource points for the first driver bonus?
Yeah.
So like, it's not unrealistic that you're in Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton and you have first driver and he has second driver. That just seems weird. So can we just have equal?
Yeah.
Like equal. Like, because like I actually kept like whenever I negotiate, I just keep mine at bloody second driver at Mercedes. Like it just feels so weird having Lewis Hamilton as a second driver. The rain of the new game.
Oh yeah, that looks a lot more realistic, especially from the gameplay. I mean, I've watched
the bloody pit stops in F2.
Yeah. No, I mean it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be like one of the biggest changes to an F1 game, certainly career-wise. It'll be interesting as well because obviously you'll be able to race F2 online. What
Yeah.
they've done for online, me and Max have said a long time we want more of an easier way to access leagues, because for a lot of people, you don't really know about some of these racing leagues without
Like,
really going out of your way. And a lot of people want to race ranked and race like seriously and like not be cunts and ram people out.
yeah, like,
But there's no way of that at the moment without joining an official league, obviously.
yeah, but it's very hard to get the rights right. Anyway.
No, it is. But it was more of a wish list. Anyway, now we know they are, it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
But it was more like, for wish list thing.
Of course.
I
got that.
But yeah.
But anything else you want to address?
I think so.
Pretty much it. I mean, F1 2019, to be fair, has addressed a lot of them, especially with Senna and Prost. And
I'm not really excited for the Senna and Prost thing. I'm not that fussed about it.
I'm very excited for the Senna thing but I'm not too bothered about the Prost part. I don't think many people are bothered about the Prost part. It's more the Senna part.
I'm honestly more excited for the 3 days early access from it.
Yeah.
God.
Yes, that's a massive bonus from it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, because the 3 days early access, I'm just gonna immediately just hop in and grind career mode.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as soon as somebody like TM Marduk uploads a video on setups and all that, I'll just use his until I guess some better ones.
Exactly.
But I think that's
Yeah, I think that's
on the first episode.
Yeah, so we got through a lot.
We did.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this very, very long episode. For my calculations, it's going to be about 2.5 hours, maybe 3.
Jeez.
If you stuck to the end, well done.
It's
only hardcore people.
Thank you.
It's 11 hours and 15 minutes. Well, it's 11:15 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god! I just realized something. It's 2 hours 36 roughly. And after that, it's absolutely incredible. Velocity, we're actually doing a co-op career at the moment. If you want to join us, we're gonna hop into it now. Maybe for a race, like 50% if you want to join us. You can join our party Velocity. I'll invite you in. And thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the F1 Lights Out podcast. We'll be back on Monday, hopefully, for a review of the Monaco Grand Prix. Or the Monaco Grand Prix, or however you want to pronounce it. And we can't wait to see it then. I hope you tune in for that one. It will most likely be shorter than this one. We rambled a long time about our good friends Ayrton Senna and who's the best driver. And we had that debate for about 15 laps. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, until next time. As we approach the final corner and we take the checkered flag to finish the first episode of this podcast, and hopefully we'll have racing in the background for the next race. Oh no. No. If one of you want to race, it's fair enough. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. We're done now. Goodbye.